You hungry, George? See, you're supposed to lick it like that. Because then you lick it from the big part of the heart towards the skinny part, and they meet, and maybe you get it all out. I've been adding water to her canned food to get more. Yeah, see, that's the actual little hearts. I think are the best bowls for kitties because they lick both lobes together pretty well. What do you think, Eddie? You eat out of it. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Strange, but yeah, that's important to have around. And then I've got other projects like put the chicken door in, new plumbing to the kitchen, boot needs to go on a board, and patio light. So why am I dingle-dorking around with this one right now? I don't get it. It's Eddie. Because we play with toys and they break down, huh? And he had this kitty feather toy that was some feathers tied onto the end of this little wand, and there used to be a rattle in here. And this is only about 2 feet, so the feathers got all broken. I went out to my feather bucket and I found some feathers. And then this was a rod that came off of one of my blinds, and it is really long. It's almost like 3 feet long. And so I took his old ribbon off and I put it through here, and now we've got like 4 ribbons, which is great. And so I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, oh, check it out. And I have this new tool. This is really for making patterns in the sailboat. A cordless electric glue gun. So the first time I'm going to use this particular one. And the reason I have some water is because if it drips and you get it on your hands, you can quench it really quickly. And I've got a metal container under the tip here. He's already interested. And yes, I'm drinking a beer because why not? All right. So I guess what I'm going to do then, Ed, is start gluing some of these feathers on. No, this has to come over here and let me work on it. And you know what was really neat is I came over to here to my boat sewing bag. It has all these great pockets on it. And I'm like, okay, I think I have some line here in the top that I can wrap that with. Man, that is so handy. Yep, I built this and it's got a whole bunch of stuff. I'll do a show just on the sewing box. But for now, let's go over here and work on this. But this is some twine that I bought that's designed for winding on sailboats. I'm just going to set that aside. They're beautiful patterns. I don't see any openings right off the bat, but I will find one. I'm sure it's tucked in here. Well, yeah, you can just scrub it back and forth, and pretty soon, and then we'll flop out. All right, so what I'm thinking I'm going to do with this is when I put some feathers on here, right, I can hot glue them in place, and while the glue's hot, I can wrap them with this cord, and that'll enmesh them together, almost like fiberglassing, right? So I think it's going to work pretty good. All right, so I think I want this to attach to this side. Let me get this primed up, the first shot. Oh, air bubbles in there. That's all right. Kind of heat them up with a nozzle. They should spread out nicely. Nice. It's got quite a bit of arch to it there. It didn't burn me, but I'm glad I had some water. All right, let's put this one on there. Yes, I reversed everything. Because there's doer hands, which is my right hand, and then there's like holding hands, which is my left. And like, you got to get that right, you know? There we go. All right, so these I think I'm just going to do a couple of dabs here. It's really not that hot for a small section like that. You want to kind of hold it together so it is going to connect up really well, right? See, there's not much in the way of gaps. I'm going to let it cool off. And then I've got a bunch of these smaller ones. Oh, here's another big one. Let's go to the opposite side here. Yeah, this side needs one here. So let's put a big one here. And you got to kind of decide how you want to face them because they all want to move a certain way. But I kind of think this one wants one to come out like that. Okay. Keep those ribbons clear. Now we're going to go right here. So I'm just going to... This stuff's really soft. Okay, so now we're going to put that one there. That's not quite exactly where I wanted that. It's close though. It's kind of biased with an angle over that way. And by going over it again, you're kind of melting it, reforming the whole surface. Hold it all together really good. And then I'm not burning my fingertips at all, but if you dip them in water, they seem like they come off a little easier. Okay, so now I am down to the last of these lightweight feathers. So these I just want to add because these are accent type pieces. This you can buy a bronzed turkeys, or you can do a white turkey. And these feathers came off of a white turkey that I had, or it was a the native turkeys, heritage birds. All right, so I got little ones and big ones together, and I think sometimes you got to do that, but open up those ends so that you can get some glue around them. And those I like to put up high because you want to tickle your kitty cat with those. So you want to have a bunch of those available. I'm just going to stitch those together. My cat Tim seems to want to come with me. It's glued up a little bit somehow. Okay, so we're just going to, there we go. Get those to settle in a little groove there. Good. Put a little bit of water. That'll slow them down. Nice. Okay, so I've got a big one and a little one and a couple almost mediums. Let's look at these mediums. Take some fuzz off. The fuzz still has a lot of good smell to it. Let's put one of these in the middle. Do a little over under like that, then you can sure get them attached. That one was a little hot. I'm not gonna lie. This is starting to look like a righteous cat toy. A little under and a little over, so they get nicely entrapped. And then you can take those last little bits that you are not going to use and just lay them over on the top, and they'll cover up your glue. Especially because we're down to our last very few of these. I think kitties are going to love this. So how much does this I want to do? Well, I'm going to do like maybe 6 feet. And I know that my arms are about 3 feet, so like 2 reaches for me is about 6. But the thing is if you have shorter arms, right, then, you know, do your arm lengths, because you want it for your size, for your arms, the ones that are going to like do the wrapping here. It has to match your arms. All right, so this will be a little harder to show, but here's those ends of this line, and they really want to come apart. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of glue. I'm going to let them cool down a bit while I keep twisting them. Then I'll wet my hands. Excuse me. And then kind of give it just a real light little twist. And so I ended up with something that's a little bit bigger than what you need. But then you can come along with your scissors here and cut it off. And you've got a nicely sealed little end here. Now, of course, you can also use a lighter, but I think at the end of the day, this is kind of cool, because we can take this guy and lock it off up here. And, oop, no, it didn't quite take. Let's give it a little more incentive. Usually wet out the surface so that you both want to marry up is important. So give it a little wetter. There, so now that end is always stowed there. It'll be easy for me to find that. I think what I'll do, though, to keep it clean is go ahead and put this cover over it, because, well, why not? It keeps it clean and bundled up. If that rolls around in a case somewhere, it's probably going to stay together better, and the end's all sealed up. All right, so I got my solar panel maybe as a little background here to give you a little better focus, but I've got the 2 ends. And what I think I'm going to do is, because I'm right-handed, I think I want to wrap this side, which means I want to start up high here and start wrapping and come down. Now, I have thought about wrapping some of this ribbon around there, and this ribbon goes through a little notch in the top here, and then has a knot in it overall. So that's really going to hold fast quite nicely. There's a good shot. See that? I think I'm going to just turn this off for a minute, because I've got some heat in there, and I'm going to start it and touch it off, and then I'm going to turn this off and set it aside till I get close to the finish. And I think I'm going to do most of the wrapping here now and just go down and see how far I get. And then I'm going to come back over it with probably some of this just to make it look pretty. But for now, we'll turn that off. I was a Girl Scout, and I'm pretty handy, but I'm not a knot expert, so all I can tell you is just watch what I'm doing. I'll try to explain what it is. So basically, I just want to put a loop around the base of this deal. And then from there, I can wrap. But I don't think having a long tail on your loop serves any purpose. And so I'm more of a fan of make a big long loop instead. And it's going to keep everything nice and tight. And as I start wanting to wrap it around, I've got to decide, like, how do I want that to tie off? And so what I ended up with 3 wraps and a noose at the end there. And then I'm going to wrap this line right down through the middle of them all and work it down. Well, ended up changing my mind, and I wrapped my hand around this a few times because this is a really short little like 12-inch section, and my forearm's long enough to reach where the other end is way too long, so I flipped it around. So I've got some wraps on here, and I think what I want to do now is add a little glob glue on these and see if we can't just kind of set them into place. And that temperature is still turned off. This is just adding some previously warm glue. Now we keep wrapping. What do you think, Eddie boy? Are you starting to queue up here? Getting ready for it? I know, there's all kinds of stuff going on, but I needed some more glue. So I got me another stick, okay? There we go. Because he's very interested, silly boy. Alright, so I went over it with my hot glue gun there and sealed up everything. And then I tied those ribbons together and put some glue on it. And what do you think, Ed? Oops, spooked him. Oh, I need to come right back because this is a good toy. But look how long this is. Like, that's 3 feet. See, I can touch the floor now. Much longer. That just about looks like a professional cat toy. All right, one more little toy, right? Just for a minute. So this little wand with one of these, it's a rabbit's pelt mouse, and this one's been battered around, it's missing its tail, but it still has some of that hide on here, and it used to have a rattle inside. It's got a nice big plastic case. Well, we're going to fix this because it's not going to take much. So I have a little spring-loaded BB gun that I've had since my college days. And if you don't have some BBs, you can use some rice from your kitchen, maybe some small beans that are dry. I'm using these because, number one, I have them. See, they make such a nice rattle. And, yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is plunge this guy in here and go forward and try to take up a lot of space there with some hot glue. Okay. You can't wait, huh? All right, so then I'm going to push that down in there. There we go. Now we get some rattle. All right, let's patch up some of this hide because it's all coming apart. We'll put some in the middle and we'll kind of smush it out towards the edge, and should be able to get some pretty good coverage that way. Oh, that came out. I didn't get enough in there yet. Let's tidy on this side. Yep, that needs some too. Yeah, use your toy, push it all down so you don't get hot on you. See, that's going to dry up really nicely. Kind of rake that off. Smooth it. Big glob. You can twist it around like cotton candy. And then that way when it goes in, there will be quite a bit of it in there. Good. And now we have... I'll just add a little bit more around the edge here. I hope I haven't glued the BBs together. Sometimes this can make a toy so much better. And you want to get these little spider webby things off of here. Definitely you don't leave those out for the kitties to play with. Get those off. No, okay. All right, well, those rattles might come back. Ooh, that was a little warm. See, you can stick your finger in there because I just got some on me. At least I had a place to go, and off it comes. Yeah, this came out really nice. I'm happy with this. Very nice. It'll turn you off. This is still hot. Here, we're just going to put the whole mouse in there. Why not? I'm going to make her be done, right? Quenched it. It's kind of like, nailed it. Yeah, get all these little spider webs off. Don't give that to your kitties. Well, I feel accomplished, even though it's dark already. Well, that's pretty fun. Use some little copper BBs to make a rattle for your cat toy. Maybe don't shove so much of the rod up in there so you have a little more rattle space. I think it'll loosen up. And then this was a old blind rod that's about 3 feet long. And I went and wrapped it with some of my turkey feathers. And let me tell you, and a leftover ribbon. And I tell you what, Eddie's just loving this thing. He can't wait to give it a rip. So there you go. Now it's time to get the chicken door on, do some plumbing, get my new boot scrubber on, and a porch light. Next week, hopefully my new injectable peptides are going to arrive, and they should help me in ways that Adderall never could. So bye, you guys. Hope you enjoyed making a kitty toy, and nobody got burnt.